I've said this before, and I'll say it again. It's a great time to be a gamer, especially if you've been around for a couple decades like myself. We're in an age now where we're not just getting these big AAA experiences from the biggest names in the gaming industry, but we're also getting these revivals of these classic, nostalgic games of the past. It's no secret that I'm a huge fan of HD remasters, HD collections, remakes, whatever you want to call them. Taking this old game that you used to love and then replaying it with a fresh coat of paint, maybe some trophies and achievements and some improvements along the way. I love it. I want more of it. Capcom is essentially reviving Mega Man with Mega Man 11, Sega with Streets of Rage 4, Konami, I have no proof, but Konami's making a new Castlevania. There's been so much Castlevania traction lately, there's no way they're not working on something behind the scenes, so hopefully Castlevania is coming back too, full force. But right now, right around the corner on January 25th, we're getting Resident Evil 2 Remake. Or remaster, whatever you want to call it. And I apologize, Capcom doesn't want you to call it a remake or a remaster, although that's exactly what this game is. We've known about Resident Evil 2 Remake for a little while now, taking Resident Evil 2 and updating it by modern gaming standards and taking gameplay elements from later Resident Evil games, but just recently at Gamescom 2018. We got a good look at the gameplay footage starring Claire, and it looks great. As many of you already know, I was fortunate enough to be able to go to E3 this year, and Resident Evil 2 was there, and it was playable. Unfortunately, I didn't even get close to getting a chance to play it. The lines were ridiculously long, they kept closing it to people. I showed up early all 3 days. I just couldn't get into the damn line, so I lost my chance to play it. Overall, a really disappointing situation, and Resident Evil 2 is in my top 5 favorite time, so you can imagine how pissed off I was. But at least I can watch this new gameplay shown to us that has Claire finding Sherry. Immediately, what jumps out to me are the character details. Graphically, and obviously, this is an enormous step up from the original PlayStation version. The character models look simply amazing, almost photorealistic due to the RE engine Capcom's using. One aspect I really like about Claire's look too is that she actually looks young. Back on the PS1, you couldn't really put too much detail on a character's face, but that's no longer the case, clearly. And these characters, story-wise, were actually really young during the events of Resident Evil 2. Throughout the series, they essentially age in real time. The later games take place in modern times, so yeah, these characters have a couple decades on them. And it looks like the segment they showed us is a boss fight against William Birkin, the main monster in the original Resident Evil 2. And not using the old style tank controls definitely gives the fight a more cinematic feel to it, allowing Claire to move around more fluidly and taking advantage of the third person controls of Resident Evil 4 and above. Now, one of my biggest concerns for this remake was that I didn't want them to just take Resident Evil 2 and just slap the feel of the third-person Resident Evil games on it. I still wanted it to feel like Resident Evil 2. I want to be able to pick this game up and play it, and not just feel that I'm playing Resident Evil 4 or 5, you know? It seems like this is exactly what Capcom is aiming for too, because if you listen to the commentary during the Gamescom presentation, they did explain that it's going to retain classic Resident Evil elements like backtracking and figuring out where to go next, so it doesn't seem that it'll be necessarily separated into these really simple, linear, segmented chapters like the later games were. And this area we're seeing was described as a new area of the Raccoon City Police Department, so we're also going to see completely new environments. This is how you take a classic game and truly remaster it, making it a completely new experience that honors the original. This is one I'm truly excited for, and you should be too, even if you're just remotely a Resident Evil fan. As soon as it comes out, I'm going to pick it up, and I'm sure as hell going to review it. And it seems like Capcom's in full remaster mode. I mean, I feel like someone over there sat down and realized, man, we have a huge backlog of games that people love. Let's do something with it. Still waiting on the Darkstalkers revival, Capcom. Anytime I'm in a group of friends and we're talking about upcoming video games or classics getting released, 100,000% of the time I bring this up. Onimusha, Capcom's forgotten franchise. It has not seen the light of day since the PS2 days. It's like they came out with it, it did however it did, and then they just forgot about it. None of the characters have ever been in not Smash Brothers, damn. None of these characters have been in Marvel vs. Capcom. There's not been an HD collection. That franchise just vanished off the face of the earth. On January 15th, right before Resident Evil 2 drops, Onimusha HD is coming, which means I'm going to be crazy busy playing video games that month. And we also got a trailer for it too. Now, I'll say this one's nowhere near as impressive as Resident Evil 2. It's definitely more of a port with a glossy shine on it, but I welcome it. Although I would have much preferred if they had done a HD collection instead, with all the Onimusha games, or at least the first 3. But I feel like this could be a Netflix Castlevania situation. You release it and test the waters and see if anyone actually gives a shit. If you haven't played Onimusha before, please get this and check it out. Onimusha is one of the PS2 games I played on repeat. I rented the game so much I ended up just buying it because it wasn't worth renting anymore. Not even adding the sequels into the mix. It's basically feudal Japan Resident Evil. There's no denying that's the best way to describe that game. But instead of guns, you have hack and slash action full of upgradable weapons as you suck the souls of demons in your gauntlet. There's fixed camera angles, you've got pre-rendered backgrounds, you've got tank controls, green herbs for health with demons instead of monsters, shitty voice acting, it's all there. It's Resident Evil Samurais. Now, some might complain that tank controls didn't age well, but I can't relate to this. I've never really had an issue with tank controls since I grew up with them, and I rather like them. Anytime there's updated controls available, I turn those off and I just use the tank controls. They work well for this kind of game. I know that's not the popular opinion, but it is what it is. That's how I feel. Luckily for gamers that do hate these kind of controls, this HD re-release does have the option of playing with updated controls, so don't let that keep you away from playing this game. This is a guaranteed purchase for me, but I'm wondering if it has any of the content from the Xbox Special Edition. I actually never played that version, but I did hear that it had many improvements over the original PS2 version. Either way, this was one of my go-to games on the PS2, and it spawned a trilogy, a fighting game spin-off, a 4th game. This game does have a legacy, no matter how you look at it. I highly recommend you give this one a try come January, and who knows, if it sells well enough, maybe we'll get that HD collection I've been wanting with the rest of them. What remasters would you like to see that haven't been announced? Whether it's from Capcom or any other company, are there any old games that you want to get a facelift or some kind of HD collection of some kind? If Capcom took Dino Crisis and did the same thing they're doing with Resident Evil 2, oh my god, I would explode. Resident Evil plus dinosaurs. Yes, please. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. I'm looking forward to reading your comments and hearing some of your opinions on all this stuff. Enjoy the rest of your day, and go play some video games. If you enjoyed this video, leave me a like and a comment down below letting me know. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on social media. You can also check out some of my other videos or click my Patreon link if you'd like to support GamerThumbTV. This is Fabian. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.